Okay, this is absolutely huge. What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Rivals went into their Halloween-themed kitchen and cooked up an insane update. We're talking about a brand new event. We're talking about a brand new mode. We're talking about brand new skins. We're talking about free skins, a free limited time emote, and much more. So there's a lot to cover. I don't want to blabber too much longer before we actually get into the details. So like always, you guys know the drill. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. Thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your support. Let's aim for 1,000 likes. And without further ado, let's get into the news. So we kick things off with the brand new game mode that will be debuting with Thursday's update. And that is, of course, Marvel Zombies. Yes, Marvel Rivals will be receiving its very first PvE mode, and it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. Now, to give you guys a little bit of groundwork for this particular mode, it's obviously kind of a horde rush survival mode with a couple of boss fights that we can look forward to, where essentially there are 5 playable characters, them being Punisher, Jeff, Blade, Magic, and Thor, and you go ahead and pick a team of 4 and set off on this adventure defeating tons and tons of zombies, ultimately culminating in 2 separate boss fights throughout these stages, them being the Zombie Scarlet Witch, or the Scarlet Witch Zombie Queen, and we also got to see a zombified Namor, which is pretty dang cool. Now, of course, the mode itself seems like it's actually going to have some pretty good depth to it, because you're going to be able to use something called blessings to essentially pick and choose how you want to upgrade your character's traits and abilities. You're also going to be able to actually change out some of the abilities themselves in terms of their utility and functionality. So that sounds pretty dang exciting. I think that the mode actually looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I've seen some people say that they wish all of the characters were playable, and I kind of get that. I do sort of agree that it would have been cool if all the characters were playable, but at the same time, I think that considering this is a new PvE mode, I kind of understand why they wanted to maybe contain the amount of characters at first, just so it's not overwhelming and is very difficult to get into. Now, beyond that, they also did share a couple of other pieces of information for this mode before we all get to dive in and check it out. First and foremost, it will go ahead and support 7 separate difficulty modes available to you. So if, let's say, you've gone ahead and started to play the game mode and you find it to be a little too easy, you're going to be able to scale up from the normal up to hard, then extreme difficulty, and then there are 4 scales of the nightmare difficulty. They did not clarify whether or not there would be any additional rewards for completing, let's say, the harder difficulty versus the normal difficulty. So that's something that I think we should still be on the lookout for. And then another thing I did want to discuss is that, of course, we know that one of the boss fights in this particular mode will indeed be becoming a skin next week. They've already told us that the Zombie Queen version of Scarlet Witch will be coming to the Marvel Rivals shop on the next week refresh, which would be Halloween Day. So that is something that we all get to look forward to. However, obviously, like I already mentioned, we are also going to be going up against a zombified Namor in this mode as well, which makes me think that most likely that skin will probably be available at some point down the line as well, just because I would be really surprised if they only give us Scarlet Witch and choose to ignore the zombified version of Namor. Now, the final detail that I did want to bring up when it comes to this new PvE mode is that Gosu Gamers, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they're a channel that actually did an interview with Danny Koo, one of the executive producers of Marvel Rivals, and they asked him essentially like, hey, why are there only 5 playable characters? And is there any other plans for PvE modes down the line? And basically, he gave kind of an answer, but non-answer for as far as why there are 5 characters, basically saying like, hey, we were trying to choose characters that appeared in the Marvel Zombies animated series. And on top of that, sprucing in characters like Jeff and Punisher because, well, Punisher has guns, so he kind of fits a zombie survival mode, and Jeff is beloved by everybody. But essentially, I think his answer is pretty much exactly what I said, which is they didn't want to go ahead and include all the characters because it would be overwhelming, both for them to finish it on time and have it ready to go. And in addition to that, I think it'd be kind of a daunting task for players. But interestingly enough, he did say 2 things. First and foremost, he said if the PvE mode is successful this year, that they would bring it back next year. So this could become an annual tradition where we would get like a Marvel Zombies mode every single year. So that's pretty dang exciting. In addition to that, he even said that they're also considering to do other PvE modes that would feature the rest of the playable roster. And he specifically mentions one that would see the X-Men go up against Sentinels. Pretty dang cool. or maybe one where Ultron, along with a bunch of Ultron bots, takes over some of the other characters, and that would be another mode that we would get to go through. So something exciting to look forward to. If you're a PvE fan, this seems like it's exciting just in the sense that not only are you getting Marvel Zombies, but it seems like other PvE modes might be in development. So then we move along to the brand new event titled Voyage to Astonish. We knew that this event would be launching with this update, but we weren't quite certain as to how it would be structured. Now we have all those details. So first and foremost, like usual when it comes to recent events in Marvel Rivals, this one will indeed be split down the middle in terms of free and premium rewards. That means that, of course, if you want to go the free route, there's a lot of good stuff that you're going to be able to get here. Like, honestly, really, really good stuff, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But of course, if you're willing to spend the 690 lattice points to unlock the premium version of the event, you're in for a treat as well. So let's run through both the free and the paid components. So on the free side of things, it really revolves around Blade Knight. The Blade Knight costume will indeed be available for free, which I think is super brilliant to go along with, of course, the Marvel Zombies PvE mode where that character appears. So I think that's definitely pretty dang cool. Beyond just the costume, you will be able to get the nameplate, the emoji, the spray, and the MVP animation. Then we get the Jack-o'-lantern mood bundle, Voyage to Astonish gallery card, 150 units, which is pretty nice because you could obviously apply that to other cosmetic purchases, so that's very cool. 500 chrono tokens, 4 seasonal sprays, and a seasonal nameplate. So I feel like that's pretty dang awesome in terms of just free stuff that you'll be able to go ahead and enjoy. But if you're willing to pay the previously mentioned 690 lattice points, not only will you be able to unlock the event unlimited time in terms of you're not going to be able to have, or you're not going to need to rush completing the event, you'll be able to do it at your own leisure. But by unlocking the premium side of things, you're going to unlock all of the Floral Frights costume stuff for Penny Parker, which is absolutely brilliant. So again, if you're a Penny Parker fan, or if you're a Penny Parker player, I think this is definitely really worth it because this is a legendary skin that you're essentially getting for 690 lattice. So that's pretty dang cool. And not only are you going to get the costume, but you're also going to get the chroma as part of this event, which I believe might be the first time that they've ever done a chroma inside of an event like this. So that should be pretty dang cool. You're also going to get the nameplate, the emoji, the spray, and even the MVP animation. As if all that wasn't good enough, you're going to get not one, but 2 of the Floral Frights emoji Penny Parker bundles. So again, if you're a Penny Parker fan, it is definitely worth it. But even if you're not, getting a legendary skin for 690 lattice is pretty dang good value. And this is an absolutely beautifully done, brilliant skin. So something that I think a lot of people should be excited about. And even if you're not excited about the premium side of things, the free rewards are absolutely brilliant. So I'm sure that you'll have a ton of fun with that part of Voyage to Astonish. And since we're on the topic of free stuff, one thing I definitely want to go on ahead and encourage you guys is do not miss out on the brand new free Pumpkin Curse emote. This is an emote that essentially turns any character to have a pumpkin head version of themselves. This will be an emote that will be free. However, it is only available for a limited time, so make sure that you listen up. October 23rd is when you will be able to begin to claim this emote, but it will be gone on November 1st. So you're going to have just a tad bit over a week to claim this one. So please, please, please make sure that you don't miss out. It's a free emote that will be vaulted once this time has expired. Maybe it will be sold in the shop at some point in the future, but hey, why not take advantage of a free cool item to unlock? And that's, by the way, why you should definitely have your notifications turned on for these updates so that you see them as soon as possible and you don't miss out on these exciting free items. And as if all that wasn't cool enough, they also went ahead and announced a bunch of free rewards that you can earn from the Ignite Grand Finals Twitch drops. And I gotta say, this might be the single best looking free Twitch drop skin that they have done. I love this recolor for Loki. I just think it looks absolutely brilliant. Keep in mind, they did go ahead and share the specific times in terms of when you need to watch in order to access these particular rewards. So we have some rewards on October 27th here, which are mostly just sprays. October 31st will earn you some more sprays. November 1st will earn you both sprays and a nameplate. And then, of course, the grand finals will be taking place over November 2nd up until November 30th. So you'll have tons of time there. And ultimately, if you do go ahead and watch for the required allotted times, which you can see currently on your screen in terms of 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 120 minutes, and of course 240 minutes to unlock the ridiculously beautiful new Loki skin. We've talked about enough free stuff. It's time to talk about the premium unlocks, because there are 2 legendary skins that will be debuting with this week's update as well. Yes, I told you guys, this is a big update. There's a lot that is being added with this Halloween themed update. So first and foremost, obviously we're taking a look at the Phantom Tide version of Namor. So Namor will indeed be receiving this really cool skin, kind of a Day of the Dead inspired design. Yes, like I mentioned, this will be a legendary skin, which means that it will cost you 2,200 units as far as its base price. Yes, it means it will have an animated nameplate, so that's something exciting to look forward to. I absolutely freaking love the MVP animation for this one. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I also really like the fact that they're actually changing up the sound effects for this skin. So it's going to have like different sound effects. So for example, for the ultimate right here,
denizens of the deep, Imperious Rex.
So that's always really cool. I just love that extra little bit of attention to detail when they put into the legendary skins. Oh, and I should also mention that this is a limited time skin. So this is something that is being themed around this Halloween update. So it will be available in the shop starting on October 23rd at 10 p.m. Eastern, like usual when the shop refreshes, but it will be actually getting vaulted on November 20th. So similarly to how we've got skins, let's say for Christmas time and the holiday season, where they're only around for a limited time, the same will apply for these Halloween skins. So if you're thinking about getting this one, jump on it before it gets vaulted. We jump to the adorable Jeff-O-Lantern, which looks absolutely brilliant. Once again, this will indeed be a legendary skin, which means 2,200 units will be the asking price. I do expect both of these to possibly be bundled together as some sort of a discounted price. So if you're a fan of both Jeff and Namor, you probably will be able to go ahead and add these together into your collection for a discounted price. So that's definitely very, very nice. The other thing is that, once again, this skin, similarly to Namor, will also only be available starting with October 23rd up until November 20th. So once again, do not miss out. If this is something that you want to add to your collections, just make sure that you do so before it gets vaulted. So there you go. Did I deliver or did I deliver? I think that this is certainly qualifying as a huge update. I mean, this really does change things up quite a bit. The fact that we're finally going to have a PvE mode, I think will bring a lot of people possibly back to the game, or maybe even to the game for the very first time, just because there is a crowd of people that don't like PvP modes. So having this PvE mode available to them, I think will entice them to go ahead and check out the game. So I'm excited about that. Plus the possibilities for the future are so dang cool in terms of other PvE modes, and heck, who knows, maybe even some sort of a single player campaign mode. Obviously that sounds way out there and kind of overly ambitious, but never say never is something that I've learned when it comes to Marvel Rivals, because this team continues to over deliver over and over and over again. So who knows, maybe a campaign mode is possible down the line. This is certainly a step in the right direction. Beyond that, guys, make sure that you take advantage of all the free stuff that we talked about in this update, because again, who doesn't love to get some freebies? So definitely make sure that you take advantage of that. Like always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, leave a like. Thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your continued support. I will hopefully see you all here on the next one. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.